Yesterday is gone, so you only have the day. You wanna throw in the towel, you wanna low on your face. Seem like it's too much, you wanna walk away. But you gotta keep going, you gotta fight another day. Gotta keep on going,
Can't stop here.
you gotta keep on going.
Try your
You
tip.
gotta keep on going, you gotta keep going.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Keep Going the Podcast. Look, man, I'm excited for today. But before we get into it, man, like, how y'all been doing? Hey, I'm finna start some questions. We about to start doing, like, some questions, man. We're gonna spice this thing up, man. We're gonna see what's really going on in people's lives and how can I be a help, my guests be a help to you and make, you know what I'm saying, this better, you feel me? Oh, man. But look, man. Welcome back to Keep Going the Podcast. You already know, man. We going in, man. I'm trying to help as many individuals I can just to change their perspective. Just to change the way that they think, the way that they look at life. Because it's so we go through so much on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes some people don't have nobody to talk to. Don't have a different perspective to look at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was blessed with the worst situation in my life, at least as a young kid, being in foster care, being taken away from my parents, to be able to see different perspectives, different lifestyles, different things going on that was not the little hood that I was from. And it allowed me to see things differently, even though when I was in the moment, I did not appreciate it at all. It seemed like the most horrific thing that could ever happen to me in my life. But yet, that bad thing, that bad situation, I was able to later down the line, because I chose that I wanted to be no longer be a victim, no longer want to be a person to throw my own pity parties and try to invite people, but I wanted to be the best that I can be. And it took time. It took time for that. And then even when I had that figured out, there was other things in my life that brought me down that I had to work on. And I'm still working on myself today. It's never going to be an end in progress. It's always going to be progress. It's never going to be an end. We're not perfect on this side. Just being real, we're not perfect on this side. But every day, God is sanctifying me to help me to be better every day. A little more. We're growing every day. Thank you, Jesus. So that's one thing I had to learn. I'm not going to be perfect on this side. But we hear people say all the time, hey, man, ain't none of us perfect. It's a difference between us not being perfect and not even striving to try to be the best we can be at all. Come on now, let's start making excuses. But I really don't want to dive into that today. I just wanted to say that, man. I just wanted to say that because people are going through so much. And that we need somebody sometimes that can give us a different perspective. And I hope that that's what I'm doing for you. You feel me? But let's, if further ado, first of all, excuse me. Let me just turn this camera just a tad bit. Bam! I like that. Y'all like that? I like that. For my people that's, not watching, I had to just change it just slightly, you feel me, so I can get the view that I wanted to get. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it, man. I wanted to talk about something today. I seen a post and it kind of, if I'm being real, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I had to think about it, right? And that's kind of a good thing in reality. I love when I have to like think about something. Like something, you know what I'm saying? I think we all in life, we have opinions of things that we think of something and we already, especially when you get my age, you kind of stuck in your ways. You feel me? Like there's nothing much people can tell you unless you're a person that's easily waved. You feel me? And I heard something the other day that was talking about being humble. So for y'all that don't know me, and this might be your first time on my podcast, I am a Christian. Hopefully that's made pretty clear when you watch my videos. I don't have explicitly Christian content. I have my reasons. I believe that this long form content, like what I'm doing right now, is a better way that I can open up about my beliefs and my faith. But in 30 seconds and stuff, sometimes the point that I may want to get across may get too much taken out of it if I try to go too deep in faith. So I try to keep it at that. But I heard something about humble, right? And what it said was, I got the point that they was trying to get across. And the point that they was trying to get across was like, humble. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read the definition, because basically it's saying that humble is like lessening yourself to almost like make somebody else feel better in a sense, right? So having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance, right? Let me read that one more time. Having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. So the way it broke it down on the video that I was watching, the way the dude broke it down was like, in a sense, you're lessening yourself. You're lessening who you are to make somebody else feel better, to make them feel comfortable around you. And I think that's a way to look at it. And I can see why for some people that may be a problem. And I'm always talking all the time that I'm not in the business unnecessarily trying to make somebody feel better about themselves, especially if they don't want to put the work in. Now, there is levels to this, people. There is levels to this, right? Because you wouldn't necessarily boast and brag about what you got to a homeless man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no problem being humble around a homeless man. Like, you're not trying to go out of your way to make them feel bad about themselves, because you in no way, shape, or form feel intimidated by them, right? So when I heard this dude say this, he said, I'm no longer less than who I am or what I've become to make somebody else feel better about themselves. But I think the problem here is, and I think why being humble is so important, first of all, is your life is not guaranteed. Like, I'm big on always telling people to put the work in. Like, that's very important. Like, you have to put the work in each and every day. Like, in the Bible, like, you can go all the way in the Bible. Like, you can go read many places. And it's going to show you that being persistent pays off. Putting the work in pays off. Like, all these things pay off. Being lazy does not pay off. Not even in God's book. It don't pay off. So if you lazy, this message is not for you. If you lazy, you need to get it together and you need to do more. Do something more. Stop trying to be lazy. Stop expecting the easy way out. So this is not to take up for lazy people. This is not to take up for people who don't want to put the work in. That's not what this message is for. But when we look at humility, when we look at being humble, be careful. My believers, be careful. My people of faith, be careful. I'm not telling you not to put the work in. I'm not telling you that there's not a time and place to talk about your achievements. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying belittle yourself. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm saying is understand this, that if you come to the point where you can do nothing but brag and boast on the things that you're doing, how amazing you are, as if God played no role, you already in trouble. You're already in trouble. Because if you think God didn't have a role in what you are, I tell people this all the time. I don't care if you don't believe in God. Like, people think, oh, because I don't believe in God, like, oh, I do this, I work for this, I work for that. What? I don't care how much you don't believe in God. You did not work for the breath in your body. That was given, my brother. That was given. There's nothing you did for that breath in your body. There's healthy people who die every single day. Every day. There's nothing you did to add another day to your life. There's nothing that you did for that. Be humble. Be humble. I ain't saying don't put the work in. Put the work in. The thing that I love about putting the work in and having the achievements and what we call winning and the successes of life, all those things, is that they still show. If you're really successful, you ain't got to tell nobody. I'm just being for real. Like you ain't got to, if you truly got it, like you say you got it, you ain't got to tell a person for real. You ain't got to tell a person. Like, you done pulled up in the Benz, like, you ain't got to tell them. Like, they see it for themselves. And then on top of that, if that's your only level and view of success, pulling up in the Benz, then, brother, you got it. It's not that hard, for real, for real. It's not that hard. I talk about it all the time. Like, it's cool, like, Like, I love me a nice Benz. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't got one yet, but hey, you know what I'm saying? One day that electric Benz, hey, I'm coming for you. You feel me? But like, for real though, like, that's cool and all. But if I can't walk up to that door and my kids happy to see me and I'm taking care of them, my wife ain't happy to see me, there's some things that I need to work on. Because for real, I ain't successful. Because I can bring a lot of money to the table, but if I cannot truly be there and nurture my family, be the priest of my household, then what does it truly mean? I'm just being real. Like what does it mean if I can't do those things? So before you talk about humble and you lessening who you are to make somebody else feel better about themselves, understand how you got there in the first place. Yeah. Understand. Like, you ain't got to be, like, big and boastful. No. Let your actions speak for you. Let the work that you put in speak for you. Be humble. Look, man, I just think it's interesting. It's not going to be a long episode, but what made me think about this, I forgot how his name came up. I think I was hanging out with my boys and Kevin Samuel came up. And the thing I said about Kevin Samuel is this. If you're familiar with the name, you're familiar with his work. God rest his soul. He gone now if you don't know who this is. But if you're familiar with his work, you feel one or two ways about him. You love him or you hate him. If you're familiar with his work, you really can't be in between with him. You either love him or you hate him. And the thing that I love about that, really, that's great content. It's hard to get there. I'm just being real. It's hard to get there. That is great content. Great content is making people choose a side. Choose a side. But I bring him up because many would say he was not humble at all. Not humble. And if you heard what the dude talked about sometimes, like, I mean, he just laid on the table how he felt with you, how he felt about you. Ladies will call him in, all like, do I deserve a high value man? I got this, and that. And then he questioned them, oh, based off of this, well, you got any kids? Oh, yeah, I got a kid too. You need a high value. Like, he be going off on women. Like, oh, no, you ain't good enough for a high value man. And then, of course, when they talk about a high value, first and foremost, they talk about the money one brings in, right? I even would say that his view of what high value was still was, you know what I'm saying, just a very, very worldly in a sense. But I do think a lot of stuff he said, he used to get on dudes too. Not everything was like outlandish. Some stuff I think was very like, okay, you got a point there. But I'm not focused on his content so much. But what I want to focus on, I say be humble. But at the same time, be humble. You have to be confident. I don't want to confuse being humble with like this soft, weak person that can't speak up for themselves. This soft, weak person that ain't got no heart, that ain't got no pride, ready to go in, ready to win. Don't confuse the two. Don't confuse the two. Because look, if those want to get into the Bible, Jesus was very, very humble. But Jesus was very, very confident also. When Jesus walked into the synagogue, a.k.a. the church house, and he seen them selling things, them doing absolutely everything else with it except what God called for it to be, and he got mad and started flipping tables, do you know the confidence that takes? The thing about it was the confidence was not in him, but it was in doing his Father's will. I'm not telling you. See, some of us, the reason we lack so much confidence because we're looking for it deep within us. But just us. But if we look at deep within the God in us, then you can find a reason to be confident. Because I no longer have to be confident for me when I'm living in the will of God. I can be confident for him. Because he gives me confidence. Because if you continue to seek it in you, it ain't going to go far. But if I continue to seek it in which what God has given me, oh man. So look, man. Be humble, but at the same time, be confident. Because there's nothing more dangerous than a person that has that love, kindness, and all those things of God, but it can have righteous anger on the other side. Confidence in who they are because they know whose they are. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. Have confidence in who they are because they know whose they are. Hey, look, man. Go out into this world, man, and don't look back. You got dreams, you got goals, you got ambitions. And do not forget that. Do not look back. You deserve it. But you have to put the work in. Stop trying to skip steps and do what you've been called to do. Man, this is Keep Going the podcast. I thank y'all for coming today to listen. Hey, please, 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 if you have any questions, I'm going to start posting some stuff, man. I really want y'all feedback, man. We finna spice this thing up a little bit, for real, for real. We're going to start bringing in some guests, some new faces, some old faces. Man, I'm going to have my wife on some episodes, man. We finna really dig in. We finna really get deep, man. This is about growth. Keep going, keep growing. Like, for real, this is about growth. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. This Keep Going the podcast. We out, baby.
Yesterday is gone, so you only have the day. You wanna throw in the time, you wanna low.